hope everyone is doing well. So, let's crack this open. We are going to today be continuing off with our Giant Ape that we started yesterday. So we've got a lot of the skin areas, started. I see I need to follow up with his nose a little bit. But yeah, we're just going to go in and jump right in. Nope. Need my paper towel. Alrighty. Let's see here. Alrighty, so I've got that there. Got someone viewing. Hello there. Hope your day is going well. Let's see here. So, let's try to get some of these in there. Oof, that is a bad seam line. I don't know how I missed that last time. But, yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. Looks like where they connected the arm. I don't know if I'll be able to show in the camera just with how his head is in the way. Oh, you can kind of see it. There's a really bad seam line right here. But, that's would have been really hard to get out with my hobby knife too. So that's fine. That's just how it goes sometimes. I'm gonna reach over my station here. I hope the audio sounds okay. If you encounter any issues, feel free to let me know if anything is too loud or too quiet. Alright, so there we go. Let's see. Let's try and get in maybe a little bit of that mouth highlights. Make it so not so magenta. There's a photo that I shared yesterday. Inside of a gorilla's mouth is surprisingly pink. Let's see if I can add that in there. Like being able to share what I'm using as a reference when possible. was it? There was just the greatest reference I had. That reference I had the other day. Might have been this one. Yeah, that looks like that's about it. Yes, that is definitely the one. Can I just add it in there? No? Alright. Pardon me here. I'm going to try to not get pink in the jacket. Put that over there. I find it helpful not just to have the references, but if I can share them, I can show you guys what I'm trying to achieve. So, I've got that. Oh, perfect. Look at that. So I'm going to just close that up. No, that's not it. Come on. There we go. So if I change that, go in here. There we go. So, gonna go here. Zoom in a little bit. Fix that up so that's not so obnoxious. Really likes to jump around there. There we go. Apparently, there we go. Hey, Keith, how's it going? Yeah, go, that's fine. You're doing just fine, buddy. Nice to see you join in. All right. All right, perfect. So, got that. Oh. Butterfingers. Alright, so wipe off some of the excess and we're just going to jump right in here. I'm going to try and hit just about everything. Everything except for just the utmost recesses. Play a little bit of Gorilla Dentist here. Yeah, no worries. You're good, Keith. Just happy you joined. Get to be able to talk to you somewhat. Audio's good, and the lighting, fantastic. That's what I like to hear. I think I literally was just playing the song. No, that's what I get. That's all good. Oh, yeah, nope, I definitely already played that song. Alright, yeah. I'll just skip that there.
In this world,
There we go.
there's an invisible magic circle. There's an inside and an outside. And I'm outside.
Alright, so got a little bit more of a somewhat natural mouth color in there. There's a good chance what I'll do is I'll end up using possibly either glazes or a wash just to get some of the depth perception in there. Yeah, I've got some pretty watered down dark colors here actually.
Plan was always for me to stay just for the summer.
Will you be here again next summer?
Certainly hope so. We should keep in touch.
Totally. Pinky promise?
Pinky promise.
Let's see if I can get some of that in there. There we go. Got a little bit of that. It's just a little bit darker. Not trying to make it too crazy. Just on the top there, just in the recesses. Let's see here. A little bit in where the gap between the cheeks and the tongue is. Got a little bit on the tongue there. Not really what we were looking for. Just wipe that off with a clean brush. Yeah. Looks like I might just have to highlight over that. Fix it, which is fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's okay, just a happy little accident. There we go. Alright, so, and that's not even a highlight, we're going to go with that tongue. That is Heartthrob Pink from MSP, if anyone's wondering. Those are the gentlemen at Reaper Miniatures. Alright, let's get in a little bit of a highlight on that those teeth. chair squeak as I shake paint bottles. So that's always fun. Alright, we just want just a dab. We're not doing a whole lot there, so. Put that away. Slowly make my paint station just a little bit cleaner as we progressively go. The tip on this brush isn't necessarily the finest. A lot of them have lost their tip a little bit on me, which is fine. There's ways of getting the tips back. Oh, this one's starting to do it too. This one's getting the hook. I think this is the best one. Alright, cool. It's a great little tutorial I was looking at the other day of how to fix that up. Not from the Miniac, what's his name? Midwinter Minis. Had a great tutorial on how to restore your paintbrushes. Let me give that a shot. Alright, so slightest highlights, but it just makes the teeth just pop a little bit. I know that there's a lot of brightness going on right here and the camera's not really liking it, so I think what I might do now is I'm going to take a very dark gray, not black, and I'm going to start going over the fur. So, again, don't want to get paint on my elbow. Let's see here. I've got girl highlights, I've got girl face. Yeah, highlights where I'm looking at. So I want to look at this. Up my screen's brightness here. Yeah, I guess it's technically I've got a black there. But it's so low, like there's so little of it, it's so much more higher. I think what I'll do is I'll do a mid-tone between these two colors. And maybe I'll go over with a wash. Yeah, I think that sounds a lot better. Alright, cool. So what I've got here is Gray Coat Gray from Privateer Press. So I'll use that there. And this is a number 5. I will go up to a number 6 brush. And the idea here is we're going to try and get some of the arms to kind of look like these colors here. All the places that are white, I'm going to be going over with this. Trying to have nice, just thin consistency here. We're just going to go over these here. I want to make sure our paint is a little thin. Not transparent, but you know, it's not going to hide any of the detail. I can see that the camera is already preferring that over the white. Probably even go with a darker color than this. Let's see here. Let's get maybe some Necromancer's cloak in there. Those two colors, being different paint brands, aren't really going to get along very well in terms of how well they mix. They're going to want to separate, but as long as I just do a bit of mixing ahead of time. Still not quite the dark color that I'm looking for. I'm going to add just a pinch of black into this. And when we're mixing, we want to make sure we do not get the paint into the little metal cap. There's a proper name for it. I do not know it. That's the color I'm wanting to get. Sort of. Let's see here. Yeah, it's a bit better. Just gonna dunk this in some water here. So I don't want to waste the paint. I don't want it to go on so quickly either. Alright. That's better. That's much better.
You sure gotta wait here. I'll be back in 10
Hey, welcome back there, Keith. It's all good, it's all good. So we're finally making him less of a white ape. Starting the process here. And I'm seeing the camera's trying to figure out what it wants to highlight on there, because now that we've got more gray, it's trying to increase the what do you call it? It's trying to increase its balancing. So I'm just trying to bring down the rest of the white here. Bring that down. I should be doing something while watching, so gonna snack and make food. Yeah. No, that's good. Maybe you can engage in the chat a little bit, you know. Last couple of times you've been pretty quiet, buddy. Been playing them video games. I know what you're up to. So what's your overall verdict for the new Hyrule Warriors? Just based off the demo. Gives them cool learn, see how everyone fights. Okay, but I mean, like, in terms of quality, like, is it fun? Like, lore's whatever. Is it fun? Is the real question. I mean, in the end of the day, if you're playing a game and you're not enjoying it, it sounds like a waste of time, right? Yeah, it's really fun. All right, good. Good. I am happy to hear that. That's important. Yeah, no, usually the soundtracks I actually listen to when I'm painting are actually usually have some Zelda music in them, but since I'm streaming, I actually kind of have to be a bit more careful on the music that I select. So for now, I'm just using music from artists who I've gotten direct permission to. So at the moment, that's just 97 Special, which, don't get me wrong, has some really nice tunes. It's very chill to paint to.
It's like she doesn't allow her emotions to show. She used to be more
You can now give orders to computer teammates to meet up and fight in areas. Oh, that's cool. Some of the I'm pretty sure some of the Dynasty Warriors games, like way back, let you do that. So I'm glad to hear that's there. So yeah, back in those games, you could give orders to captains and stuff. I really liked what was it? Gundam Warriors. I had Gundam Warriors 1, and then there was a second one, and I had that too, but it was so difficult. I could not get past like the first like giant Gundam, because in the first one there's, similarly to Hyrule Warriors, like a time paradox, and you have like characters from all across like the Gundam timelines and universes converging, which was really cool. You know, just like it was in Legend of Zelda, it was cool then too. But in the second one, you encounter giant Gundams, and you have to like use a special move to destroy them, and I never could get it. It's either I couldn't figure out what buttons I had to hit, or I couldn't figure out the timing. I can't remember what the problem was, but there was something in there. It's like, do the thing, and I'm like, I'm trying to do the thing, it won't work, and then I died like 10 times, and I was like, yep, nope, I just never picked it up again. So if I do, I'm gonna do some Google and YouTubing before I give it another shot. I think video game music is okay, or else yes and no. There's a lot more to it than that. You need to have, like, they need to have, because the thing is, when it comes down to soundtracks, if you're doing a let's play of the game, and actually specifically on the thing of let's plays for games, not all game companies are okay with streamers playing their games, and will actually copyright them, or hit them with copyright and cease and desists just for playing certain games. That is very much not the case, especially when it comes down to game soundtracks too. It is a case-by-case basis on what are they okay with. Plus, I want to play chill music. I'm painting, right? Like, I don't want anything too loud or too crazy. But yeah, that's how that works. It's fun stuff. I did watch a Twitch guy yesterday play Pokemon on his... Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, it's... This was why this kind of stuff, because like I remember I was wanting to do a YouTube channel, right? All this stuff is exactly the reason why I ended up like just being like, it's too complicated and I don't want to get stressed out by this. So instead I am doing painting right now, and I'm enjoying it, and I don't have to worry about, you know, minute details. All I have to worry about is my music. And if I have written permission from the artist, I am A-okay. So, that's that. Now, whether or not a Funimation or something comes in and is like, hey, you have one line from that show that we did. I'm like, it was in the song. I got permission from the musician. You know, all the tiny nuances. It's a lot of stuff to figure out with it, and Nintendo is kind of notorious because they've got a special license and program and stuff. I don't know if this program is still alive, but you could be a Nintendo partner in YouTube, and what would end up happening essentially is you could do just about any Nintendo first party game, but Nintendo would like take like 30% of the revenue. And if you make your channel exclusively about Nintendo first party games, then you could get like Nintendo will only take 20% of your revenue. but then you're like locked in on what games you can and cannot stream. So yeah, no, it's. I don't got time for that. I don't got patience for that. Like, what if I wanted to play Doom one day and I, then you only, or then you can only do the, the former rather than the latter. But then when you're playing Super Smash Bros., your channel's not making as much revenue. So that's why you end up seeing a lot of the big streamers. They end up not doing as many large company games, and they do a lot more indie stuff. Yo, Mikey, yeah, starting to add some gray, start to take away some of the white. No longer an Arctic giant ape. How you doing today, Mikey? How was work? We're talking about all the fine details of licensing and copyright with video games and streams and how more complicated it is than it should be. Mikey does streams on Twitch. I don't know if the Twitch environment is quite as difficult as the YouTube environment. I just know that for YouTube, it's much more easy to get hit with copyright strikes or, cease and desists or flags and just thinking about it and remembering trying to go through all that process. It's very frustrating. Monkey. Yeah, no, I kind of wanted to, part of me keeps wanting to, every time I'm painting a giant ape or a gorilla, I want to give him a big red tie and paint him brown. The only thing I notice is getting hit with copyright strikes in my Lego Star Wars vids, but all it does is mute certain parts. Weird. That's weird. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that it sounds like it's a little bit easier on Twitch. That's, reassuring. It certainly feels like Twitch is a little bit more, I guess, there for the users, but I don't want to put my foot in my mouth on something that I don't know all the details of. I'm not about to pretend that Amazon is going to protect people. It's Amazon. They're there for their money. They want their money. Alright. Let's try not to get my finger oils to rub paint off. That's funny that it happens in your Lego Star Wars games. No, maybe not funny, but it's like, what the hey, man? I would laugh if it was every time that R2-D2 died. His death scream. George Lucas is like, no one's allowed to hear R2 scream die, or the Yoda, oh! Copyright strike, mute the channel. Oh god. Lego Death MP3. I'll have to take a look at that later. Ba, 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 ba. I feel like I need to make this even darker, especially in that area. Oh my heck, black, why you gotta be so strong pigmented? Just with a combination of all of the colors. Alright, let's see here. It's like, yeah, it's about that. Well, that's about where I'm going. There we go. Also, you inspired me to make chili. Yeah, I made chili yesterday. It was delicious. It was delicious and Canadian. Oh man. I hope that's there. That is for you there, Jules. If you come in and you check in the stream, you know I'm talking about you. You little rascal. I love making chili. See, there you go. Mikey's Irish. I mean, Irish American, but Irish. You know, he's got chili. Chili's delicious. What do you put in your chili there, Mikey? Has Ireland had an influence on how? I'm assuming your mom made chili. I'm weirdly craving chilies. Yes. See, there we go. Speak of the devil, and she shall arrive. How you doing there, vampire?
I've been running away from the question I really want to
It's
ask.
the Bambi vampire.
What's gonna happen to me now?
I can't believe in the whole time that you were here, like you were in Vancouver for a decent while, you never had chili once? That's crazy. It's delicious. Super good. I'm going to assume Irish chilies. Racist. Racist. Come on now. I don't know. I'm genuinely curious though, on how your family made some chili there, Mikey.
But sometimes I find myself wishing this journey could go on forever.
Like, is there? Because you lived in the States for a while too. Did you find there was like any additional ingredients that your mom was putting in? Alrighty. Gorilla is starting to be more gorilla-like. Speaking of food, what I have been craving more than anything lately, Jules, is since the lockdown happened, um, is Korean fried chicken. We get some every now and then, but we don't get it nearly as much as we used to beforehand, because one of our favorite places, Big Chicken Town, you know, it just has the greatest fried chicken, and the cooking has begun. I don't even know if it's a proper chili. I put in minced beef. By minced beef, that's right. You guys call ground beef minced beef. So minced beef, chorizo. Yep, chorizo. I sometimes put in some sausage in mine. Not always chorizo, but I do put sausage in mine occasionally. That's a very southern style of making chili that you find in the States. Tomatoes, chilies, onions, kidney beans, and a block of dark chocolate. That is unique. I've never heard of using chocolate. You never thought of putting a bit of sausage in your chili, Keith? It is so good because you just get like a nice round like piece of sausage, you know, in your spoon, and it's just it's incredible. It's a great addition to it. You can also add bacon grease, and if you want to go that extra mile for that southern flavor, it's something I would typically consider taboo, but adding in barbecue sauce. Adding in a little bit of barbecue sauce adds a little bit of a unique tang to it. You could also achieve something similar by adding in a bunch of smoked paprika and brown sugar. But I find southern style chilies are often spicier and sweeter. Great sauce they use in Mexican food. Yeah, no, it's man, chili is so unique. I love it just because like it changes so rapidly based off of the locations that you're going to, and like how that area makes chili. Because up here in Canada, we make it pretty tame. We don't really do anything too crazy with it. Paprika, yep. I put in a little bit of paprika sometimes, but not always. My main two ingredients are always just cumin and chili powder, but I've recently found adding Old Bay is really good with it. Bailey's, oh, and a shot of really strong coffee. Oh, coffee in your chili. God damn. Okay, Mikey, you keep this up, I'm gonna start asking you for a chili recipe. I'm gonna give this a shot. You're gonna seduce me with your chili recipe here. That sounds delicious. Throw in a can of Guinness in there. Guinness goes great in stew, so I wouldn't be too surprised if it did go well in a chili. Yep, bay leaves. Yep, a couple small bay leaves goes really well. If you're not using, if you're not using Old Bay like I have recently been doing, just adding a little bit of celery seed can give it a nice herbal flavor to go in along with the bay leaf. Yeah, love me some chili recipes. I'm confused. What even is chili anymore? Honestly, chili is kind of just like a soup that, as long as it's hearty, like super hearty, super thick, and can't be considered a stew, you've got a chili there. Let's see. Yeah, I think really like what makes a chili, like what is the minimum? How does everyone eat their chili? with bread, having bread with butter on it. Love that. That's a big must for me. What else? Got the chili stream going. This used to be the waffle stream, but I guess now it's the chili stream. Let's see here. What else do I usually eat it with? Do you put any corn in your chili, Mikey? Like just a good old can of corn. A soft taco kind of. Yeah, you could put chili in a soft taco. That would be really tasty. I can picture it. Chili in a hot dog is always good. Chili and Smokies. No corn. You gotta try and get some corn. What about carrot? Carrot and corn give it a real nice mild sweetness. Yeah, chili dogs. See, that's why chorizo sausage goes really well in a chili. We always like chili dogs. You know, if you make the dog part of, you know, a nice high quality dog like a chorizo sausage, you've got it. You've already got it in there, right? Chili fries. Yeah, chili fries is good too. That's definitely a United States way of having, a very American way of having chili. We do have it. We've had chili fries here in Vancouver at least for the last 10 years or so. But when I was a kid back in my hometown, never heard of chili fries. They aren't bad though. I do prefer myself some poutine though. Gotta really emphasize the Canadian accent there. Some poutine. We have taco cheese chips. Isn't that just nachos? We are not allowed to get them when it's 1 a.m. and you're walking home drunk after a night out. Taco cheese chips, that just sounds like nachos. Is it, what makes that different than nachos, Mikey? Is it just like even more taco ingredients? Because I'm just picturing like the highest of quality nachos. By chips, you mean fries. Ah, that's right. Yes. Okay. That makes sense. There we go. I hadn't translated the lingo in my head there. No, that sounds like that would be really good. The New York fries here, you can get butter chicken fries, which is delicious. Yeah, I like that. I could be down with nacho ingredients on my French fries. I love that. Also, welcome to the stream, Bard of Doom. Nice to have you. Are you painting any minis today? Gotta give a friendly hello there. Despite the conversation, this is technically still a mini painting stream, not a fries stream and chili, but you know. I think I've yet to have someone painting alongside. Obviously, you don't have to be painting. It's okay if you're not. Right now, we're just painting a Wizkids Giant Ape. Nope. That is all good. That is all good. Do you run tabletop role-playing games? Do you play in them? Or are you more of a war gamer? These are all assumptions that you play one or the other. Obviously, that doesn't have to be the case to enjoy watching painting. I know that I enjoyed watching people paint minis before I actually did it myself or played any games that involved painted miniatures. D&D only. Good stuff. Am I safe to guess that you like playing a bard? Is that presumptuous of me? Have you ever run into a giant ape in your games? I'm a DM myself, kind of a DM forever, but while I have not run an encounter with a giant ape, I did pick this up fully in preparation of the possibility that down the road I'm going to have someone who's going to try and polymorph, or I can't remember if druids can wild shape into giant apes. Someone correct me if they can or cannot there. But yes, this is fully out of the anticipation that I'm going to have to, my choice or not, involve a giant ape in a game. I think they can wild shape into giant apes. More of a rogue. Rogues are cool. I like rogues. What kind of rogue do you usually play, archetype-wise? I feel like I need to lower my chair a bit. Oh. Oop. Bards are great. Anything that gets expertise is pretty cool. I've always wanted to DM a possible game that is all bards, but I think DMing an all rogue party could be really cool too. I might get a little tired of Uncanny Dodge if I do that, though. Can I have Glenda join the main campaign? I really enjoyed using her. Which one was? Oh yeah, dude. If you wanted, like, let me know if you're getting tired of a character that you're playing or whatnot, and you want to either take a break from them or retire them, or just want to save them for another campaign down the future. Absolutely. I thought it was a really cool character. I really liked her. Might want to come up with a reason why a bug person's named Glenda, though. I will ask that. That's a very human name. You know, whether she's adopted by humans or humans gave her that name, Glenda. I feel like it's not necessarily an easy name to pronounce with mandibles. I had a campaign idea where all members of a band of musicians, and you're on tour. In each town you go and play a show. Something always goes wrong that gets in the way of the show. I love that. So is the idea that, like, they never successfully get to start the show because something always goes wrong? Like, the amphitheater that they're about to play in is, like, destroyed before their show can start? Alright, so still have a couple of spots here, but I'm liking how some of this is coming along. But yeah, no, I really liked the character. I liked having a not a Thrycreen, not an Antuku. What were they? A Crawl. Having a Crawl be a member of the party was really cool. And I felt the fly speed wasn't too overpowered or anything. Oh, crap. Did I get paint on my pants? Nope. No paint on my pants. That's good. I love the idea that you make so little money as musicians. I feel like there's a little bit of relatability coming from your personal experiences there. Yeah, no, musicians are not blessed unless they're very successful, usually in terms of finances. It's a very horrible, sad truth. So when you hear goblins are blocking the road, you go so like, yeah, we'll take care of them. We're in debt, and we need to put on the show. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Just like, yeah, whatever makes sure that we get to perform the show. You gotta write what you know. No, that's absolutely. I love that. That is great. Just like the we'll take care of it. Really? Are you sure? Like we can get the authorities and no, they'll take too long. the show won't. The show has to go on. I love that. I love that so much. My partner, she has a bard named Lucky, who is a Goliath that plays the drums, and so she felt that it was only fitting that his weapon is clubs, which happen to be his drumsticks. So I think there's like a light club or small club, just like one-handed clubs that he uses. She had a lot of fun playing with him. That's the character she's probably going to be playing next in our main campaign if that ever picks up again. Pandemic kind of really put a nail in that coffin there. That was the campaign I was telling you about, Mikey, where I got to kill my first, not NPC, my first player character, which happens to be my partner. And the person that is responsible for her death is in the chat room. I mean, not entirely his fault, but, you typically don't want to have your two squishiest characters be the ones that go 5 feet within their, the big bad guy. Oh, there's no need for an apology. What should have happened, realistically, you were the only person that was on the right track. What happened is that the fighter or the barbarian or anyone else who was a bit more of a constitution should have been the ones to be like, yeah, I'll go with you, Keith. But no, it's the two 8 constitution characters. They're like, we'll go over there, we'll kill him. And a hot for teacher on the goblins' heads. Oh man, that's too funny. That was shit. I still blame you. Oh, there we go. I know who Bard of Doom is now. You sneaky sneak. This explains the rogue's part. They have been outed. Yep. The player who died is Bard of Doom. There we go. Took me a while to figure it out. You're so sneaky. More of a D&D kind of person. Result in one death. Yeah, no, I mean, it's part of the game, right? Like, you know, characters die. It's unfortunate, but, you know, it's a great way of getting to use that other character that you wanted to play. You have no idea why. Well, is it because of you, or is it because of the party themselves? So, I'm getting to be pretty happy with how this gorilla is turning out here. Gonna have to put in some highlights here and there on the fur, but you know, if you were to ask me 5 years ago, I would have called this finished. But this is not me 5 years ago. Alright, so grab some water. Let's see here. Do any of my references show gorilla feet? Nope. I got a hand there, though. Alright. Maybe I could look at the low lights. Must run away. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I look forward to it, Mikey. You guys have yourself a good recording. Tell the other lads I say hi. Ugh. Yeah, will do. That needs to be done a bit better there. Alrighty, so I know Keith there is making some chili. I wonder how it's going to turn out. Hopefully good, yeah. What are you putting in your chili there today, Keith? Hey! The ape is going well today. This is what we're looking at. So, it's not a white ape anymore. So, I'm just kind of blocking in where the highlights are. And I'm just finding these little spots where it's a little speckly. So, just giving those a little bit more love. And then what I might do is I might throw in a wash for the dark gray, not black, areas to try and give them a little bit more depth in the deep recesses. And from there, what I'll do after that is I will probably do a overbrush, so not quite a dry brush, but a little bit heavier, and to give, you know, just the first layer of highlights over the fur. It's a pretty big model, so I don't know if I necessarily want to go over individual clumps of hair. But that's how it's looking today. Are you painting anything today, Dyslexic Lemon? Never mind, got a little bit more time. Happy to have you, Mikey. Oh, I'm outside of the camera again. Ground beef, red bell peppers, jalapeno, black beans, onions, garlic, mushrooms, tomatoes, bay leaves, cayenne powder, cumin. Oh, you're going pure cayenne? You're not using any chili powder. That has an interesting effect on the flavor. Ends up being a little bit less smoky when you do it that way. And a little bit more of a sweet heat, I find. Oh, chicken stock. Oh. It's an interesting way of doing a chili. I dig it. Oh. Got a little bit of white on that rump. Gotta paint that butt. Gotta paint that butt. And smoked paprika. Yep. I put in a good healthy amount of smoked paprika yesterday in my chili. Turned out quite nicely. A little bit too nicely. I ate a bit too much. Let's see here. That area. Yeah, Def make some chili this week for the house. Yeah, that's fantastic. Make the booty look thick. Painted butt. Not doing any painting today, but we'll do some writing to do. Oh, maybe some painting tomorrow. I will. Do you have a hunger for chili or a gorilla booty? Yeah, no. What are you thinking of painting tomorrow, Dyslexic Lemon? I can't say that I'll be online tomorrow painting, but I will be the day after. Got to take a little bit of a break when I do painting. Both. Love it. Gotta get that butt. Alright, let's see here. Oh, nice to see the chat's a little full today. Happy to have all you guys today. And as always, if there's anyone who does do miniature painting, of course, wants to know how to do something, I will, to the best of my ability, give a little demonstration of how I try to tackle certain parts. Can't say I'll necessarily know how to do anything that's requested. But, you know, I'll happily do what I can to try and, you know, share share the knowledge. Oh, I got a commission piece I want to start, but I told them I wouldn't start till I was on stream. So I might do some terrain building instead. That's fantastic. You do some streaming too, eh? And is your stream just under the same Twitch handle there, Dyslexic Lemon? I'd love to watch. Maybe I could do that, or I could watch while I'm either on shift or, you know, before work. Wait, no, tomorrow's my day off. Yeah, what time are you planning on doing it? Let me, you know what? I'm gonna, just as soon as I unload this brush here, there we go. Yeah, I'm always happy to give a follow, or let's take a look here. I'm gonna take a look at Dyslexic Lemon's channel if I can. Under a different one with a buddy, Cosmic Dice. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna take a look at that. Cosmic Dice. Cosmic Dice, the podcast. Oh, fantastic. All right. Let's look here. Cosmic Dice, the podcast. And then if I look on Twitch. Is it a Twitch stream that you do? Or is it like something that would be like on Spotify or something like that? Obviously not for video, but it's pretty new. Cosmic. Do you mind dropping the URL? If you drop the URL, I'll give you guys a follow.
Tomorrow is my birthday, right?
Yeah, I knew that. So what?
So by my 18th birthday, I'll be back here. I will find a way. I promise you.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm very interested in this here. Let's see here. Gonna give this a shot again. So if I go Cosmic Days, the podcast. There we go. Giving you a follow as well. Look at that. Look at that.
Can you come back?
Maybe.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, maybe during my shift I'll watch some of the recordings. There you go. So, so many spots where the paint is thin here. More white spots. How am I gonna reach that there? Go like that. Mondays at 6. Is that Mondays at 6 Pacific time? Is that Mondays at 6 like Mountain Standard, UTC? Mountain Standard Time. Good stuff, good stuff. Okay, cool. So that's like 5 p.m. my time. Perfect. Yeah, it'll give me something to have playing in the background when I start my shifts. Don't know how much I'll be able to participate in the chat, but I can lurk. Oh, it's all good. There's no advertising here, man. It's all good. My goal is just to paint, chat with people, you know, get to know one another, you know. We're living in a unique time and situation, to say the least. So, this is how I have been trying to socialize lately. And I gotta say, so far I'm kind of digging the Twitch community. Wow. It says 9 viewers there. I don't think I've had 9 viewers on the channel before. That's exciting stuff. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying what you're watching here. Only the most best of content here. No, but seriously, thanks for joining in. If you guys want to chat, you know, join in the chat. I'll try to talk to everyone I can see there. I do have to end up looking bad, or not bad, looking down often. I will be in bed by the time, but I'll stick on the video to minutes. There you go. Yeah, you know exactly. I'm really glad that I figured out. Thank you to Mikey, how to do the recordings on Twitch. My little brothers often can't make it to the streams, so yeah, no, I'm digging it. Things are pretty chill here, and I think similarly to how I've been feeling lately, a lot of people just want to socialize lately, and Twitch seems to be a great way to be able to do that lately. So, you know, it's fantastic. I dig it. Alright. I know I haven't started really the feet properly yet here, but try and there's another white spot in the undercarriage. So yeah, it's starting to look out or turn out not too bad. It's funny, it's such a minor thing, but I'm still so happy with how the eyes turned out on this. Especially now that like the whole model is black, the light brown eyes really pop. I don't know how well my camera is going to be able to demonstrate that, but just like normally under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have done the eyes yet, but I've heard so many people just commenting on like, yeah, no, you got to start with the eyes. You got to start with the eyes. So yeah, you can kind of see the little red eyes. I'm super happy with how that's turned out. So while I've got some of the other stuff trying, I hope this is a good color. Does that match up there? Try and get rid of some of those little white spots. So we'll see freckles of white. Freckles. Speckles. So, got that there. Oh, I'm so excited to hear there's going to be another creature pod coming up. For those who play D&D, Mike DeLime in the chat there has a phenomenal podcast where they go over the monster manual and they just go one monster per episode. And they've recently just finished doing all of the metallic and chromatic dragons, as well as the dragon templates and the dragon turtle. So they are now free from dragons up until they reach the fairy dragon and the wyvern again. But yeah, it's just three Irish lads talking about monsters, and there's a lot of like, it's a very organic podcast in terms of like how they communicate with each other, just given like it is genuinely three friends that are just, you know, bantering. So if you like that kind of podcast, I highly recommend it to anyone who you know, I typically to dungeon masters. I think DMs would get the most out of it. Yeah, if you ever want to check it out, it's Creature Club Podcast on Spotify. Just a little bit of a shout out for them because they do really good stuff. So no, you guys have, I'm just saying it how it is, you guys have a good podcast. Honestly, it's just a show where we talk shite, and there happens to be D&D stuff. No, it's honestly though, that's sometimes like what you want to hear, right? Like, you know, it's I have found numerous a times, if I'm just having just a crummy day, listening to other people laughing and telling just dumb jokes, it can be very not therapeutic, but it can really just lighten your mood, you know. So I swear by your guys' podcast. Ah, fantastic. Ah, my God. I keep finding white spots. Saying that out loud just made me think of the restaurant White Spot. Ah, just all these white spot restaurants selling me burgers and fries, and it's a dumb joke. That's okay. I like me some dumb jokes sometimes. All right. Oh. Here, let's pull that up there. Get to show you guys the actual reference that I'm using. For anyone who does do mini painting and or is interested in giving it a shot, one thing that I like to recommend is if you want to get some real like good color palettes, look up some reference photos. And in this case, what I did is I took the eyedropper tool, and you'll see here, I just made blots, and just to give reference here. So like that's why you see here, like I actually painted in a shadow here, just so that like this area gets more sunlight, and this is the darkest tone that is going to be in that area, whereas this is the darkest area. And this, once I start adding in more highlights, it's going to be, realistically, it's likely going to be much less dramatic as it is here. But that's, how I've kind of been tackling some of the things that I can get, imagery like that with. So, I should really try tackling these feet. But I'm a little bit tired. Let's see, what time is it we're looking at? Alright, it's only 1:30. I got another half hour. I got another half hour to do this. So, let's see. You know what, let's change it up a little bit. Let's go do the mouth a little bit more. So what I'm going to do here is looking at in the inside of the mouth there, we're just going to give a little bit more highlights here with a squid pink. And this time we're only going to target areas that are higher rised up and will be at an angle that will get light. So we're going to go in typically on the sides of the tongues, and looking at yet again another reference. So any of the inside gums on the lower part, or even in the inside, but definitely not on the roof of the mouth like I was doing previously. Not for this color. So yeah, gonna go in, make sure I've got a nice translucency. Gonna go right here. We're just gonna. That gorilla should see a dentist. This is one of the healthiest looking sets of teeth I've seen in the photos I've been looking at. Actually, funny enough, there were some I was looking at and like they were just like black teeth, and I was like, oh no, I'm not painting black teeth. I'm gonna at least give him a little bit of credit. So there I did a little bit of a highlight that I wasn't super fond of. I'm gonna try and go in here, and obviously right now in the exam, the little bit, the brush stroke that you see there looks really dramatic. The more we do here, the less that single stroke is going to look. At least that's the hope. Who knows? Maybe we're going to have some happy little accident here, and it's just not going to look the way that we planned. And that happens sometimes, Just a happy little accident. So we're gonna go in there. So that looks not too terrible, but we can do a little bit better. Let's see how. Yeah, I think I need to on my camera, because right now it makes it look super extreme, and that's not quite what I'm seeing here IRL. So what we're gonna do here, let's see, reduce that a little bit, maybe reduce the brightness, go there, and a little bit of the contrast down, and that's a little more close to what I'm seeing here. I try to make it so that you guys get to see actually what I'm seeing here. So I have a manual override for my camera. This is, here we go. We're gonna go real fine tip here. So, what is this? This is the small detail brush from Army Painter, and I have just destroyed this. I have not taken great care of this brush. But, you know, take a little bit of scissors. You can usually repair these things a little bit. What I should have realistically done is I should have pulled out some like wax, you know, like hairstyling wax, but you know, it wasn't that smart. Yeah, no. I have gone and made that little bit a little too dark or too bright. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and correct that. That's okay to correct it. We're going to go in. We still have our darker shade of pink. We're just going to go there. Going to go over top it a little bit. Any mistake you make, any little accident, you can usually correct it just with a little bit more brush strokes. This brush is a little too sensitive, so we're gonna go in with the thicker one. I'm gonna go here. Just gonna tone that highlight down. When we add more highlights, it's not going to be so noticeable. But this is a great example here. So maybe you can see I did a little bit of a up streak, which was not quite what I was aiming for. But, you know, that's how it goes. What we can also do is we can tone it down with just a bit of a dark glaze. So we're going to go here. Go up, and that's going to tone that whole area a bit down, and we can see here that there's not so much a highlight on the edge. Really, it's that edge highlight that I was kind of concerned with. So I've done that, and we're just going to do the outside a little darker, and a little bit there, and good. That's good enough. It's a little bit of an accident, but you know, that's okay. That happens. What does Bob Ross tell us? Bob Ross tells us happy little accidents. So we're going to go back in with a real bright highlight, and we're going to try and just with a thin glaze, we're going to go in and we're going to just give those gums a little bit of a highlight in some areas. And it looks like I didn't go over that area with quite the right pink the first time. So we're going to scoop some of that up. And that's okay. We can go in, you know, trial by error, right? Now we're going to go in, I'm going to take that darker pink that we had before, and we're gonna give the gums, you know, the deep red or deeper pink that we want. Because when you're doing a highlight on it, you really want to make sure that you have the right base. And that's just going to kind of, well, I mean, hopefully, you know, I've never done this model before. And usually the mouths that I do aren't quite so based in real life nature. So usually I go in with just a crusted sore from Army Painter, and I just go in and I'm like, yep, deep red, it's done. But today, that is not quite what I'm doing. So yeah, that's turning out nicely. We were getting some depths in there. It's starting to actually look like an inside of a mouth. Hey? Am I running any D&D games right now? would like to be running some D&D games right now. I have a project I've been was working on for quite a while, and basically it was you can find it on my Twitter actually. I was doing a bestiary and a supplemental rule set for if you wanted to run a Dungeons and Dragons game in the Magic the Gathering universe Ikoria. So I was gonna do a bit of a test set with some of my friends, and we were going to get to play Ikoria, but I haven't been feeling too great, just in terms of like mental capacity, like what can I realistically do with my energy set. So that didn't quite happen, but we did do a one-shot. Kairos and Bard of Doom are members of my typical party. So, that was fun. I'm a bit bad for like starting up a project. It's pretty epic, and then as I go in, I'm like, okay, cool, that was super great, that was fun, and can I do this next bit? I think I can. Ah, man, I don't know if I can. So, the one shot we did was really good. That was a one shot I've run before. I wrote it as part of the RPG Writers Workshop that is hosted by Ashley Warren, which was super fun. I really like the adventure. It's a little bit of a it has some elements of cosmic horror. If you've seen the old like 80s, maybe even 70s invasion of the Body Snatchers, that is kind of like the theme of the adventure. So usually a player, I am like a forever GM. Ikoria would be a fun one with all the mutant. Yeah, so I have a PDF that's publicly available. It's very incomplete, but it's like 80 pages or something. If you want to take a look at it, my Twitter handle is, I think, the exact same as my Twitch one. Let me take a look here. I'll just drop it in my comments here. There we go. So yeah, I actually wrote rules and mechanics for the mutate ability. For like in D&D, like how would it turn out? It can be a little bit on the like slightly demanding side as a DM, but if you want to like roll the dice ahead of time before the encounter, you can always do that. Or if there's just like a mutation that you're like, I really want to do this mutation, fuck yeah, just do it. Oh, swearing, not trying to swear. But yeah, no, check out the PDF, let me know. I have both the awesome, how dare, this is a PG-13 podcast or Twitch stream. No, don't cuss. Say heck. Heck is the acceptable word. But yeah, no. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. My goal is to have a website where you can check out all that stuff, kind of similarly to how D&D Beyond works. But man, energy. This doesn't take me any energy. This is actually very recharging and like relaxing for me. So but that's just because I'm doing this and I feel no pressure. I'm chatting with people. We run a family-friendly stream on some days. We tread closer to that line than we should. Yeah, no. It's I want to be able to host this and just paint and like, if it's someone who is not an adult joins in. I don't want to be, talking language that maybe necessarily they can't. I can't control my chat room. My chat room's whatever. I don't have a moderator. I'm one person. But, I would like to try and have some self-control with my cussing. I like to think a lot of people would, they try. I think we got a review for Creature Club saying, do you guys really have to swear that much? Man, okay. But you guys have, like, a set, like, expectation. Like, this is just three lads, You even describe it as, talking shite. I have no problem with how much you cuss. I mean, that's... I find it relatable. So... But that's me. I am a minority. If you guys want to go no swearing, I probably wouldn't even notice, to be honest. I decided that if my mom ever hops on, that I need to be prepared. Yeah. Were you raised in a Catholic house? I don't know the details. All I know is that Catholics can be pretty on point of, those are not words that you should be saying. I grew up Christian, so I wasn't even really allowed to swear in the house when I was younger. But then I moved out, and when I came back in, I was like, talking how I normally do. So, because I don't live here anymore. Nah, nope. But still pretty religious. Yep, no, that's fair. Yeah. Where are you located? Are you in the States or are you in Canada? I mean, there's only two places that in North America that I usually think of in terms of Mountain Standard Time. But I suppose South America would also hit Mountain Standard Time. Idaho. Good stuff. I don't know anything about Idaho. I just know that there are Idaho potatoes. So, pardon my ignorance. Mind you, I don't know how much you'd be able to tell me about British Columbia, so I'm pretty sure the tables are decently on par. Decently. I could always Google search, be prepared ahead of time like that, but if I'm being honest. Idaho facts. Potatoes are grown here. All the potatoes. No, yep. What was it? So in BC, there is a place called Nanaimo, and a friend was telling me they had, I think it was a Japanese exchange student, and they heard Nanaimo, and they laughed. They laughed so hard because I guess was it that Nanaimo means potato in Japanese? I can't remember what it was, but they found it super funny. It had to do with potatoes. I gotta take a look at this. Let's talk about potatoes now. We've moved on from chili. Let's see here. Google Translate. You are my friend. So we're gonna go English, and we're gonna go to Japanese, And we're gonna find out what potato is. Potato. Which is, no, that's not it. What was, maybe it was Japanese if I go naimo. No. What does no naimo mean in Japanese? There was something that was funny about it. What was it? No.
In this world, there's an invisible magic circle. There's
Means
inside
nothing.
and an outside.
Oh, but in theglobe.com, when you search up Nanaimo, the city in British Columbia comes up, in the island west of Vancouver. Isn't that funny? No, that's all good. Good stuff, good stuff. Alright, 152. I've got a nice looking mouth. I've got a dark gray gorilla. And I'm still finding white spots. I really want to get rid of all the white. Just clear it out. No more white on the mini. Because I find like the moment you do that, just the quality of the mini just goes so high up. Like I finished the chest for the most part yesterday. So I don't think I'm gonna have to go over too many highlights. I might have to go over some on the lower portion.
Plan was always for me to stay just for the summer.
Will you be here again next summer?
Certainly hope so.
Let's see
We should
here.
keep in touch.
Totally.
Whoop.
Pinky promise?
Pinky promise.
Is that the same color there? I hope so. Yeah, that looks decent there. Just cover up that white. Jagaimo, how you say potato in Japanese. Sounds close to Nanaimo. Yeah. There we go. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. But basically, friend of a friend. They just thought this town, Nanaimo, super funny. I think also, if I recall correctly, Keith, you might be able to correct me on this. I think some of our potatoes are actually grown in Nanaimo. Are they? I don't know. I don't know my own backyard. I'm not going to pretend that I do. In fact, I don't have a backyard. I'm your backyard. You are across the street. You are not my backyard. You are not the avatar of my backyard. Alright, let's take a look here. I don't know. What do you guys think? How's it looking? It's alright. I know there's a lot more I can do. I haven't started highlighting. I haven't started these feet. I haven't even started the feet. Alright. Let's get right here. I could be. You could not be my backyard. You do not have the qualifications. Good, sir. Alright. We're gonna put that down. We are going to take that and we're going to make it slightly. It's looking great. What do you mean you're learning? You're learning from me? That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I'm happy to hear that I could help anybody learn. If somebody watched this and they walked away something better, that is super cool. That is more than I anticipated. So, I am incredibly excited to hear that. How's that looking? Is that... Oh, that is too bright. Let's see here. I'm going to drop a little bit more of this in here. Boop. It's funny, Mikey made it to the last mini that I'd finished, and there was a running joke of Chris, well, it's almost finished, but I could do one more thing. One more thing. It was always one more thing. It was never finished. Okay, cool. So we're going to do some toes here. Just because right now I am on a mission to eradicate the existence of anything that is not painted here. So it's because there's just something about it. Just like until that's done, this is gonna bother me. Call it obsession. Good. I got a good question for you there, Dyslexic Lemon. What kind of paints do you use? Do you use Citadel? Do you use Army Painter? Did I already ask you this and forget? Do you use Vallejo? Do you use Vallejo? I love Vallejo. I love the viscosity. I love the pigment consistency. I am a sucker for Vallejo. So I have in front of me, I have a lot of Army Painter, but in the mail right now, I have like 29 bottles of Vallejo paint that I am so looking forward to coming in here. Citadel washes. Their washes are great. I started off with Citadel paints exclusively, but very, very early on I grew very frustrated about their bottles. So as we know, for anyone who's not familiar with Citadel, I'm gonna have something here. There we go. They have these bottles like this, and you shake it up and then you pop it open, and they've got this little kind of cup that the anticipation of Games Workshop is that you use that to dip out of while drying out your paints. Now, people who are caught on to that, what they do is they go in, they scoop it out, and they put it on a pallet, and they work off of the pallet because they don't want to dry out the paints in the bottle. But if you want, what you can do is you can also go online and you can get like off of like Wish or like Alibaba Express, or if you want to pay a lot of money, you can buy from a reseller these little eyedropper bottles. These are like 1 ounce, ounce and a half, I think they come in. And by doing that, you end up having a bottle that works just like all the rest. So, you just drop a dot or two on your palette, and you don't have to worry about potentially drying out your paints while just simply opening the bottle, because that chemical reaction is going to start due to exposure to oxygen every single time. So I don't mind Citadel paints, don't get me wrong. They're very thick, they're very concentrated. You kind of have to water them down a little bit. Ideally with paint thinner, you get a really nice consistency and texture out of it. It's comparable to Vallejo, but for me, I'm in the middle of switching everything up to Vallejo. I really like their stuff. But yeah, that's my rant. I got Bones paints once, but they dried out. Do you know if that was a fluke? Bones is in like the paint from like a Reaper. I'm not familiar with Bones. Reaper. That doesn't sound like any experience I've had. I only have 2 bottles of MSP paint. Honestly, if you message them to let them know, that was probably a factory defect. I have had these 2 bottles of MSP paint. One is Heartthrob Pink from the Master Series, and the other is Master Series Unlabeled Blue. I've never had any issues with these, and I've probably had both of these for almost a year, and they still are good. So my guess is maybe on the thread of the lid, maybe there was just a defect, so oxygen was getting in and out. But I love these. I only have the 2 bottles. I'm at a bit of a disadvantage with buying them just because MSP paints, while incredible, they're not as cost effective for me because I have to get them directly from Reaper. There's the currency exchange. You can get free shipping, which is really dope. Even here in Canada, which I super appreciate. But I think like I get these Vallejo paints for about $3.50 Canadian, but it costs about the same in US dollars for me. I think it comes to $3.50 last I checked, or it was like $3.40. With the currency exchange, these come out to being more than $4 a bottle for me, and they come with less paint, just giving them the bottles smaller. So I love them. I unfortunately just won't be using them. The ones that I get as sample bottles from Reaper, I absolutely use those. I love them. I wish that I got more sample paints in my packages from Reaper. But I know that those are just like gimmies. Those are like samples to try their stuff out. But I'm more likely to invest in Vallejo at the moment, sadly. I do love Reaper as a brand. Yeah, no, you can totally get like huge boxes of Vallejo paints, and their color line is massive. They have so many colors. No, they're a very strong brand, especially since like they've been at it for a while, right? And they've got some really cool technical colors, technical products. I have this. I know Citadel has a bottle of puke. To put it frankly, they call it vomit or something like that. And Vallejo has an equivalent, and I'll pull it up in a second here. I can do a little sample. But basically, it's just both of them are a thick paint that has a glossy, dry. Yeah, Vallejo metallics are fantastic. So specifically, the airbrush metallics. So I don't have any of the airbrush metallics. That is on my wish list. Let's just nerd out about paints. I am happy to nerd out about paint conversations. Yeah, let's see here. I can get that thinner. There we go. Just wipe off paint until it's a glaze consistency, and I can do some more of the foot there, covering the black, make it a little bit more of a better transition. There we go. Yeah, cool. So I think I'm done with him. I'm just gonna talk paint. Yeah, no. So vomit. So note if you do end up using these kind of bottles, if they are in an area that, because they are cheap bottles, if they're in an area that they're exposed to temperature variations, they can crack. What I do is I just grab some Eileen's tacky glue and I just put it on my finger and I just smudge it over to seal it. I don't have an airbrush metallics. Yeah, so the airbrush metallics is where you find the aluminum paint that like legitimately looks like aluminum. It's insane. So paint demo. I like to put paint on my lids so I can see it directly. Some colors in certain paints change their tones as they dry. So it'll look one color when it's wet, but it'll look a different when it's dry. I find that this is a good example of that. Cold gray from Vallejo, so I'm gonna shake it up a little bit. So when you look at the bottle, you look at the wet paint. There we go. So you'll see it. While it's wet, it looks a lot wetter. So that's why I do this. So if anyone's wondering like why I have like paint all over the tops of my lids, that's why some colors dry differently. Do the same thing for paints on bottles. Yeah, they'll dry different shades, which is cool. But you know, if you're anticipating it to be something different, obviously that's detrimental. But yeah, so vomit. There's in Game Color, they have a Game Effects series, and they have this vomit. And I'm just gonna put some more on the lid because there's not a whole lot there. And it's just almost identical to the effect of the Nurgle's Rot. So if you're ever wanting an equivalent in Vallejo, they have that. Vallejo also has two paints called, for effects, Dry Blood and Wet Blood. Dry blood. Here we go. I'll put those back. I don't have the Wet Blood because I have the Citadel Blood for the Blood God, because I do like the Citadel effect paints. But this is how this turns out. And I have used this on a few things. I will go grab some examples.
It's like she doesn't allow her emotions to show. She used to be more expressive, but these days her face is
So I have 3 examples to provide here. So very bright, very cartoony here. We have a scary skeleton, and all of the blood splatter here. It's very bright. Blood on the sword. This was using the Citadel Blood for the Blood God. I put some on the sword, but what I did is I took a paintbrush or something with just terribly like acrylic artificial brushes. You put it on and you just spray it like that, and that will projectile all these little droplets in a nice let's see here, what is the perfect distance for the skeleton. Maybe I have to do the light a little further, but you can see there's just little speckles here and there. So that's how I did that for this. Same theory, different paint. This was using the dry blood. I did this because the round surface, I was having a lot of struggles highlighting it. So I wanted to differentiate it, make it a little bit better. So I took some of the Vallejo dry blood and I put that on the axe here. I did that on the back. I did the same spray effect that I did here. And you can kind of see like the difference in the brightness just a little bit. This is a little bit more glossy. So the dry blood, it's not super dry. It's not like the old blood stains that you might find, which turn brown as the blood coagulates and deteriorates due to oxygen exposure. But with my big old demon here, in combination with rust, I was originally trying to do this using the dry blood, and I actually found, man, he is a vibrant red on the camera settings right now. Holy. Anyways, I found that the subtleties of the dry blood, man, you can't even see the dry blood on there. All right, cool. Gonna take him off the screen for a second. The dry blood effects was too subtle and a bit too brown in combination with the red, so I actually ended up having to use the blood for the blood god. So having obviously multiple tools for the job are beneficial. That's kind of all I was going in with that. But if you want another really cool Vallejo product, so if you use Citadel, you're probably familiar with the sponsor me, Vallejo, please. Just gonna nerd out about products. I like their products. I'm gonna talk about the products I like. That's just how that is. So here we go. That same skeleton, actually, I did this with. Goodbye brush. Goodbye paint. Let's see. Did I do that on this? No, I did not. What about my giant skeleton? Yes, I did. Okay. So, rust effects. Half-painted giant skeleton. In Citadel, they've got this typhus corrosion that they use, and the idea for that effect was you could put it on a gunmetal metallic, and then you would dry brush over the typhus corrosion with Rise of Rust, and you would get a rust effect. Now, we've got a little bit of that on this teeny tiny skeleton. It really dirties the rust effect. Oh my god, exposure's so high right now. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, so you can kind of see a little bit of it. My problem with it is it looks really good for super ancient metals. A little bit of a larger example here. Ugh, so much cat hair on here. Love your pets. Your pets are lovely. Trying to get some of that hair off there. Anyways, it makes for a very speckly effect, and sometimes my issue with it is the the orange part comes off a little too strong. You have to be using a really gentle dry brush. And again, blood effects on there. But alternatively, and I think is a better way of doing it, is washes. All of the rust that you see on here, all of this is from washes. Oh my god, he messes up the saturation of my camera so much. Way too red, way too red. Let's contrast, calm down. Saturation, calm down. There we go. So all of these rust effects, all of that was done using the Vallejo model washes. There's light rust, there's a intense rust, and lastly they have Vallejo pigments, brown iron oxide. I've done a couple of things using that. One of them, hopefully the details are enough to be able to see on camera. Yeah, okay, they show pretty decently. This is mostly using something iron, like tough iron or whatever from... Yeah, so again, my camera settings are kind of intense right now. It's all because of that demon. Anyways, yeah, it ends up looking really good on stuff like that. And what I like about using washes on iron... Oh, best example I have. Here we go. I used it so much on this. So, dude, it's all good. You're fine. Rust is, as we know, affected by the oxidization caused by chemical reactions between water and metal over a long period of time, and it is increased by heat. What I like about using washes for rusts is by doing that, you end up having a liquid rust effect that can follow through and build up in areas where water would actually build up. So around screws and bolts, in little crevices, like little crevices right here, you get to have all of this done in a way that simulates the buildup of rust a lot better. Trying to see if there's a sweet spot I can find in the camera. Yeah, there we go. So like getting to see a little bit of that, just building it all up over there. I'm a huge fan of it. Yeah, it's oh well, thank you. I'm very happy with this one. This is one of my 3 favorite minis I've done, along with the demon that keeps screwing up the camera. But yeah, so if those are some of the things that I do with that, and if you want to know, I can quickly, because I've been bringing this up here, this miniature, the dragon, if you want to know how I did the moss on here, because let's see, there we go, you can kind of see it a little bit better. There's moss that's growing over all of the mini. That was using the moss tutorial from Black Magic Craft. What I did is I just took PVA glue and I mixed it up with Home Scenic's Fine Turf. And I just took a brush that I was willing to sacrifice, my glue brush, and with extra fine turf, get the mini out of the way here. Mixing this in with PVA glue. When you apply it on, when the PVA glue dries, it's gonna dry clear and translucent, and it might look like you've put on too much at the time. When using that as a moss effect, you want to go just a little bit more than you feel comfortable with when you're applying the fine turf glue mixture, because once it dries up, it's going to turn out much more clear than than it looks initially. But with that, I've gone just a pinch over my 2 hours, and I'm okay with that. That's perfectly fine. I got really excited about nerding out about some of the paints that I like to use. Blackmagic Craft has a perfect tutorial for it. I've messed around with my settings a little bit too much now, so I can't quite focus on the girl as much as I'd like to in the camera. But yeah, with that, I am nerding out about paint is fun. There's so many cool techniques that you can use and products. One that I'm really excited to use that I've never gotten to use yet, I've been watching tutorials online, is... Nope, not that. The Vallejo chipping medium. So apparently what you do is you brush on what you want to be... it's great for chipped paint, essentially. So you start off with your metal or your wood or whatever it is that you're doing. You brush on some chipping medium, and then you brush on what you want to be the paint that is chipping off. And let everything dry in between layers, and then once you've done that, you hydrate it. Oh my god, the color shift paints look really cool. They look so cool. But yeah, so for the chipping medium, just before I lose my thought here, you hydrate the mini, and you can take like some fine toothbrushes, and you end up brushing the edges. You can take toothpicks or like a scratching object, like this little metal thing, and you end up scratching bits off, and it looks super, super cool in the end product. So, but yes, Green Stuff World's color shift paints look super dope. If I had a station dedicated for airbrushing, I would be all over that right now. One thing that I'm wanting to try right now, because I really like doing zenithal priming, just specifically for the terms of like guiding me and like getting to see the details in a mini, but what I want to get is inks. So one of the things I have in the mail coming in is a whole series of inks from Vallejo, because they've got really nice concentration. Yeah, good stuff. Well, I'm gonna log off here. I've got to get ready for work. I've got to get some food in me, but I will be at this again on Saturday. We'll get to hopefully get a little bit further alongside in. I'm not certain how I want to base this quite yet. I'm probably going to have a bunch of dehydrated plant matter that I'll probably glue on. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a good one, and thank you for joining in. It was a blast. Later, everyone.